Hey everyone, welcome back to another Kevin's Kreations here on Geektopia Island. I'm Kevin.
I'm Cardwell.
And we're here today to showcase the deck that I got to play at the GP this last weekend. It was super fun. I was really glad to play in the last GP of the year. I made 21st, so it's not terrible, but it was 21st out of like 48, so I got about halfway there.
Yeah, that's good.
But it is with a deck that I made on my own, and I got a couple compliments on it, and it's relatively strong, and it gives a lot more showcase to a ruler that we all kind of previously like overlooked. Kind of,
yeah,
sort of.
Sure.
But it is black, green, blue, black. So it's Beatrice and Carlina, and it's a super strong deck. I like to call it bouncing bites. That's what I played. It was pretty fun because you're just bouncing things and you bitey girl. Just bitey girl.
Just eating everything up.
But before we get into it, guys, we just remind you down below that we do have a Patreon. It only takes $1 to give us some love and support. We greatly appreciate it. Also, in our Patreon, you get access to our videos early, and you'll get access to our Discord and all the other fun perks that we have down there.
And don't forget, we also have our Force of Will Grimoire, FOW Grimoire, on all the apps that you can do on all the phones. It's basically a deck builder app. We love it. We put it together ourselves, and it's amazing. And this is what we build on, and hopefully you can build on it too. It's free to download. It's just fun, just quick and easy.
And then the last thing, guys, we're really close to 1,000 subscribers, so go hit that like button and let us know. Just give us the subscribe.
Go on your grandma's phone and be like, "We're gonna subscribe here, okay, grandma," and then that's
give us those subs.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, let's delve into some bounce and bites. First up is our girl Carlina, the bitey girl herself. She's black green, tag Fallen Angel. You can play only one spell each turn. That is her downside, but it's not like it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Tap, produce 2 wills of any combination of attributes, and then pay 0. Gluttony, spells you control with total cost 4 or more cannot be canceled. And then whenever a card to total cost 4 or more enters the field under your control, draw 2 cards. And then her Judgment, she is a 9/9 with flying and barrier 2 or less. Prevent all damage that will be dealt to this card by Resonators with total cost 2 or less. And if this card would deal damage to a J Resonator, it deals double that much. And she still has play only 1 spell a turn and add 2 mana.
Yep. Simple as that.
She is insanely strong on the backside because she just gets to not care what you have if you're 2 and under.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more prevalent than you think because you're like, you can't target her with that. Like any 2 and under. So like Demonic Worlds can't target her with the tap down spell. Yep. You can't target her with a Wall of Frost, which is kind of, or a Wall of Terrors on your side, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is.
And the fact that she's able to like prevent the damage from J rollers as well, because their cost is 0. So yeah, enjoy that.
It's nuts.
Next one, of course, is Beatrice. So a Judgment of blue and a black. She has Fallen Angel, of course, as well. And if you would draw a starting hand, you would draw a starting hand minus 1 card, and maximum hand size is decreased by 1 until the game instead. So instead of 5, you have 4. Simple as that. Weird, right? God's Art is Greed, 0. If you have no cards in your hand, draw 2 cards. Simple as that. And it has Null, coming back, of course. At the end of your turn, draw a card. Simple. And when you Judgment, she has Flying Bane, which is awesome, a 5/8, so not too bad. Enter, return up to 2 target non-magic stone, non-J ruler entities your opponent controls to their owner's hand, which is super powerful. The fact that Carlina gets rid of 2, and then this gets rid of 2, and then you're just like messing with the board the whole time. And Null, at the end of your turn, draw a card. Simple as that.
Yeah. So Beatrice is super fun. She's the one that a lot of people like overlooked because, like, yes, you're at 4 cards, but it's really not like super prevalent, honestly. And this deck doesn't really like. You can go Null in this deck and be fine, but you don't really want to. But you don't.
You don't have to. It balances out. Like you can draw and do all your stuff, but if you're on the back end, you can get an extra step up.
Yeah, and if you do get put into no cards in hand, then you're always going to win that matchup because you get to draw extra cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the first card we got is Wall of Terror, and it is a blue for a 0/8. Discard a card. You or target entity gain barrier, and then Null, it gains +4/+4 barrier and Bane. So this is to help you force Null, and it's here for like 1 combo, which is really funny, and it's cute against a lot of decks, and I'll get to it when we get to it, but...
And it's one of my favorite cards ever,
it's
to
super
be honest.
Strong.
Yeah. The next one is Mikage Reiya. It's a 1-drop, the classic vampire, 4/4 flying quick cast. Enter, search your deck for a darkness card, put it in the graveyard, shuffle your deck. Vampires you control gain Drain. And then whenever this card is banished from an additional cost of Mage Art, this effect with Mage Art is that this card goes back to your hand. From the graveyard to hand.
We're not doing that. We don't care.
Don't care.
There's no Mage Art.
But still super good to get what you need.
Next up is Dolly, Olivia's Electric Dolphin. So it's 1 blue for a 4/4 with barrier. If you would choose or target randomly, you choose or target randomly, not randomly. and then you can choose the targets instead, and then do this once per turn. And then enter, you choose one at random. Produce a blue, return up to one target non-Magic Stone, non-J rule entity to its owner's hand, or draw a card. And this is super strong because of another card we'll get to that makes this just super silly. And it's a good one or two of, because it helps you give free bounce spells. And right now bounce is pretty good because like against Carlina, they have one spell. So you're like, well, bounce it to your hand.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Are you going to play that one again or a new one? Good. Next one, of course, is the Witch of the Fallen Kingdom. It's a 1-drop 4/4 quick cast. Your opponent cannot search their deck. Seems good. And if you have still 5, which means 5 magic stones, enter, you may reveal a witch you own from the outside the game and put in the field. But the fact that your opponent can't search the decks, which is bye-bye Virgil, correct?
Yeah, well, bye-bye Dante.
Bye-bye Dante,
like, cool.
Can't get Virgil.
Which Virgil is the next guy we got, and he is 3 black for a 10/10 swiftness. You may make a J rule you control astral rather than pay this card's cost. Pay a black, choose one. This card does 400 damage to target player or J Resonator. Or this card does 400 damage to your opponent and J Resonator. You can only do this one as it's attacking.
Yep.
And then if you have Fallen Trigger, so if you've done a God's Art this turn, he gains Drain and Bane.
So good.
Card is insane. Like if you're playing black, you're playing this dude right now because
Yeah.
he's literally like the best card in Force Will game, in my opinion.
It really is. He does everything you ever want.
He may not be the total best, but he's in the top 2 for sure, or top 3, because dude's insane. Because he's free and he hits and you can't block him.
Kills your opponent's board, and if anything, he just throws fireballs at your opponent. Just gaga at the end of turn. I'll spend my mana to kill you. Next one is Magna's Guardian Beast. It's a green and red and a green for 6/6 beast. Enter. You may search your deck up to 2 Resonators, total cost 1. Put them in the field and then shuffle your deck. So you just get 2 1-drops and go at it because you already have enough power.
So with this, they have 4 1-drops that are super strong to get, and you just get whichever ones you want.
Yeah.
And you can be like, cool, I need to go get a Dolly to bounce your stuff, or to draw free cards, or do whatever. It's super strong. We have 1 Satan's Fantasma Body / Flames of the Outer World. The Fantasma Body is a 2-drop 6/6 that does a whole lot of stuff with Cthulhu and Madness counters, but we don't care.
Don't care.
While you're searching your deck, you may play either side of this card, which is cool, which you can do that, but you actually can't do that in this deck because you're playing Carlina, so if you're having a spell that searches, you've already played a spell.
So nothing too fancy.
But you play it for Flames of the Outer World, which is quick cast, red and black. This card deals 800 damage to target J Resonator. Players cannot chase this card. And that's what it's played for, to kill either Belials or to kill Violets or any of the dudes that you need to make sure you get out of the way.
Yeah, and they can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Sorry, thanks. Mermaid of the Despairing Voice. It's a 3 blue and a 1, 10/10, null, enter. Put all non-magic stone, non-J-rule entities you control, the total cost 3 or less from the bottom of their decks in any order. Doesn't go back to their hand, doesn't go on top. It just gets them out and nulls them, if you will. And then blue, discard this card, return target Resonator with total cost 3 or less to the owner's hand. So if you played a spell this turn, you can still do something, which is awesome.
Or if they Dante on turn 1, you can energize and bounce their Virgil to their hand, which is pretty funny.
Which is awesome.
Hey, no, don't take that damage, and then I have counterspell. Next is Fallen Angel of the Black Tears. It is 3 black and 2 for a 12/12 flyer, and it enters J Resonators your opponent's control, gain -X/-X, where X is the attack of this card. And then pay a black, discard this card, target J Resonator gains -4/-4 until end of turn, draw a card. It's just a really good kill spell / clear the board. And with Carlina, you make it uncounterable.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome. All right, next one is Cinderella, freed from the ashes / ramping. What was it?
Rampaging pumpkin carriage.
Yeah, pumpkin carriage. All right, here we go. So it's a split card, of course. It's a 1 in the blue, 6/6. Quick cast. Enter, look at the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck, then put them on top or on bottom of the opponent's deck in any order. Chant, quick cast, put 2 target non-magic stone, non-J-rule entities you control on top of their owner's deck in any order. If this card was awakened by Cinderella, and then, basically filled from the graveyard.
Yeah.
Okay.
So essentially, you're going to pay 4 mana for this card. And with Carlina, that's super easy because you have 2 free mana. And you play the Rampaging Pumpkin Carriage for 4 because that awakens it. And you put 2 non-magic stone, non-J-rule entities on top of their deck. And then she comes into play and you can look at the top 2 and put them on bottom. So you're like, hey, cool, those 2 cards that are a problem, they go away forever.
That's pretty cute. I like it.
Or if they're playing a whole lot of searchy stuff, then you're just like, cool, put those 2 things on top and you're going to shuffle them away because you're searching right now.
Yeah.
And the final Resonator of the deck is Garyon. He is 2 green, 2 black, and 1 for a 15/15. Swiftness, precision, and flying. Your opponents cannot cast one-drop spells. And then pay a green, remove this card from your hand, cancel a 1-drop, or pay a black, remove this card, destroy a 1-drop. This card is insane. Like,
it could be the top tier of the 1 and 2 drop.
Other than Virgil, it is probably the best other card in Force Wheel right now.
Yeah.
Because everyone should be playing this card because it's just 1-drops are super strong right now, and they're only going to get stronger. So this card is just going to get better too.
Even if you're just playing green on one side, then you can still have a cancel spell for 1.
Yeah.
Seems awesome. And of course, our first spell we have is a Pulsing Thunder. It's a blue and a white quick cast. Choose 1 at random. Here's the thing. Destroy all J Resonators your opponent controls. Destroy all Addition/Regalias your opponent controls. Destroy all non-Magic Stone entity you control. This is where the little Dolphin comes into play, Dolly.
Because you're going to have your Dolly, you don't care. It's just going to sit there mostly and just wait for it to do something if you need it. And there's other cards in the sideboard that make Dolly a lot better.
And it has quick cast, and then it works.
Next up is number 13, AntiMagic. It is a green and a white. Cancel target spell. Seal 4, it costs a white less. Seal 7, it costs a green less. So 7 mana, it can be free. And it's pretty neat.
Yeah. Next one is Light of Raze and Revive. It's a red and a white mage art. Choose 1, remove target non-J-Roller, non-Magic Stone entity that total costs 3 or less from the game. Put a Resonator with total cost 3 or less from the removed area in the game onto the field. Search your deck for a light Regalia. We don't care about that. But be able to, whatever's removed, come back, get there.
Or remove a 3-drop.
Yeah, which is very powerful.
Next up is Inferno. It is a red and a black for a chant. Your opponent banishes equal to the number of non-Magic Stone, non-J-Roll entities you have, or they discard to the number of cards in your hand, or they lose life equal to the life you have.
Yeah.
And then Fallen Trigger, this card gains quick cast, and if you're playing a Stemma, you get all 3. So the reason this card is funny right now is because it's super good in a multitude of reasons. It makes you go even with them. So if they get ahead of you, then you're like, cool, you're back with me.
Yeah.
But in this deck, you can play it on turn 2 or turn 3. If you have like a Wall of Terror, then you're like, cool. On your turn, you waste Beatrice's God's Art because her God's Art doesn't have to actually do anything. Because the way it reads, it says pay 0 if you have no cards in hand, draw a card.
Yeah.
But you don't care.
I don't care.
You already, like, the likelihood in this deck of you getting that God's Art is very slim already. So you can just be like, cool, do God's Art, discard my hand. After your draw, before untap, Inferno, you're at the same cards I am.
Yep.
So we're both on null, and then you get to draw. You do better on null because you have null draw a card at the end of turn.
Yeah, you get more value off of doing all of this.
Putting like a card draw deck on top deck mode is pretty awful for them.
Yeah. And this card is just, you don't need a Stemma. This card is so good.
Yeah, it really is super strong. It is probably one of the best chants right now just because it makes the game even.
Yeah, exactly. Completely.
Or it's a win con because if they're like, hey, I'm at 2, you're like, cool, Inferno, play Virgil, die.
Yeah, exactly. Swing and
it's kind of disgusting.
Just pump it. Next one, of course, is Castle of Beatrice. It's a blue and a black. Cards not named Castle of Beatrice in your graveyard cannot be targeted spells or abilities and cannot be removed from the game by effects as long as this card is in your graveyard. Blue and a black. Put a Resonator from your graveyard in the hand. Play this only if this card is in your graveyard. Pretty good, pretty strong.
Yeah, so this is your target for Mikage Reiya, almost always on turn 1.
Yeah.
Because you get free value out of your dudes. Like if you're throwing your Fallen at your Mermaids, you're just like, cool, bounce that thing, get it back, bounce that thing.
Yeah.
Or the same with the Black Angel, you can do that too. Next up is Carlina Storm. It is a 3 green and 1 for a quick cast chant. Cancel target spell, draw a card, or Fallen Trigger. Instead, remove all spells and abilities your opponent control from the game and draw a card for each one removed this way. So in the tournament, I did get to do this for like 4, which is pretty neat because you're just like, hey, Satan and all the stuff you played in front of it, get all of it gone.
It's gone.
You don't get any of it.
Don't.
Your 2 dudes are removed, and I draw 4 cards.
Yep. It's pretty
sweet.
Pretty awesome. Next one is Fountain of the Oblivion Moon. Is 2 blue and 2. Enter. Name a non-J-Roller card. Non-wheel active abilities of this card share the name of cannot be played as long as the card is in the field. Rest of recovered J-Roller you control, draw a card. Jeez, just like, just draw a card. It's pretty good.
And finally is Castle of Carlina. It is a black and green and 2. For an addition, enter, search your deck for a card with total cost 5 or more, reveal it and put it in your hand. Any of your opponent you control cannot be banished by spells or abilities your opponent control. Spells with a 4 or greater cannot be. They have barrier, and then spells you control cannot be canceled by your opponent.
Yeah.
So
anything that you want to be protected from, it's there.
like you don't want. This card's weird. It's super strong. If you get it in your opening hand, you want to keep it and try to get it out really quickly. But you don't really want more than 2 in your deck because it'll bog it down because you don't need more than 1 ever. Because it protects itself, so you're just like, cool, I don't care.
And you don't want to really draw it late either, because you're just like, well, we're already here, you know.
Yeah,
we're done.
The stones are really simple. We're playing Magic Stone of the 6 Sages, which is the untapped stone. The Magic Stone of the Knowledge, which is the seal one, and then Magic Stone of Dark Depths and Adiractia's Memoria. So you get to just have like free extra, all the mana you need.
Yeah, just in case.
It makes it easier.
Yeah.
And then for this like sideboard or honorable mentions for this deck, the only like really ones that matter, we have Satan, which allows you to clear the board whenever you need to on his God's Art and do all the shenanigans with it. So you can like play him, and then you can do his God's Art, and then or you can play all these things and then respond with his God's Art. So what I mean by that is you're like play Virgil, play a Reiya in response to that Virgil, and then activate his God's Art. So the God's Art goes off, triggering everything, gets rid of everything.
Yeah.
And then Reiya triggers, and then Virgil triggers, because they're all in the stack, so they're safe from him. So you just get free value, and then Satan wipes everything.
Yeah.
And then the other card that we really have in the sideboard, the 2 other ones really, is Witch with a Pointy Hat, is the Green Witch. For 1 green, 4/4, quick cast, prevent all damage that will be dealt by target entity this turn, and seal 4, you cancel a target activate or automatic ability. So your Black Witches can go get her. Pretty neat.
Yeah.
And then finally is Lightning Passion. It is a red and a blue chant, quick cast, choose 1 at random. This card deals 1,000 to your opponent. Draw a card, put this card in your owner's hand as it resolves. Put up to 2 target non-Magic Stone, non-Geryon entities your opponent controls on top of their owner's deck in any order. This card is super strong against Belial because you're like, hey, cool, in response to your God's Art, I'm going to have my Dolly choose not random to shoot you for 1,000.
Yeah.
Or you could put 2 things on top, like their tokens or whatever is in the way. And it's even better against Wolfgang because you're just like, hey, cool, put those 2 Dark Worlds on top of your deck.
Yeah,
thanks.
Enjoy.
Oh, you're searching this turn? It'd be a shame if you have to shuffle them away.
Yeah.
Thanks. Overall, though, this deck was super fun to play. I definitely recommend it. It's not terrible to play. It's just a lot of stuff has quick casts, so you're going to play either things on either turn. That's what makes it strong. And it's just a fun deck. And having the Beatrice to always remove a threat in play that they can't really, like, at the moment there's no way to stop it.
Yeah.
Is super, super nice. Because you don't really get to have much of responses to it unless you like counter it with an activate ability card or an automatic ability. But otherwise, you're just getting rid of stuff, which is super, super nice. It was super fun to play, and I can't wait to see what else we can make before the new sets come out and make this game change a whole lot more.
Agreed.
But we're super excited for it, and can't wait to show you guys. We'll see y'all next time.
Goodbye.
Later. Also, guys, make sure you hit that like button down below and subscribe to our channel, and then hit that bell for any future notifications that you have for our videos.
And we go ahead and give a big thank you to our fans for over the years, especially our Mythic and Above Patreon followers.
Thank you, Ryan.
With that, we love you. Thank you for your support.